In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. We begin our journey with Surah At-Tin, chapter 95 of the Holy Qur'an. This brief but powerful surah opens with 4 significant oaths. By the fig and the olive, by Mount Sinai, and by this secure city, Makkah. These oaths may appear symbolic, but each carries profound meaning. The fig and the olive are not only fruits, they symbolize nourishment, peace, and blessing. These trees grow in the lands where many prophets were sent. Mount Sinai reminds us of the sacred encounter between Moses and God. And Makkah, this secure city, stands as the heart of Islamic revelation, where Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, received the final message. These symbols together remind us of a universal spiritual heritage, connecting Judaism, Christianity, and Islam through divine revelation. They set the stage for what follows, a message not just for Muslims, but for all of humanity. Then comes the verse that defines the surah. We have certainly created man in the best of stature. Here the Qur'an makes a declaration that stands in contrast to many worldly views. Human beings, it says, are not lowly or accidental creatures. We are created in the finest form. This best of stature includes the physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual dimensions of human existence. Our ability to reason, to empathize, to create, and to choose between right and wrong, these are signs of our divine origin. This verse is deeply affirming. It counters the narrative that says we are just products of random evolution or victims of fate. Instead, it reminds us that we are beings of purpose and value. Before addressing our flaws or shortcomings, the Qur'an first honors our dignity. In a world where many feel worthless or forgotten, this verse whispers a sacred truth. You matter. You are not a mistake. You are the best of creation, fashioned with care by the most merciful. Yet the very next verse reminds us of the human condition. Then we return him to the lowest of the low. This stark contrast to the previous verse paints a reality many of us recognize. As elevated as we are in creation, we are also vulnerable to falling, morally, spiritually, and emotionally. This fall isn't inevitable, but it becomes our path when we disconnect from our higher purpose. To be returned to the lowest of the low is to live a life void of meaning, to follow desires without conscience, to abandon mercy, truth, and justice. It's to forget who we are. But the Qur'an doesn't stop there. It immediately provides the way back. Except for those who believe and do righteous deeds, for they will have a reward uninterrupted. This verse is both a warning and an invitation, a reminder that decline is real, but so is the path upward. That path is not exclusive. It is open to anyone, regardless of past failures, who turns to belief in action. Faith in Islam is not passive. It's not just a statement, but a way of life, one that reflects belief in our behavior. Acts of kindness, truthfulness, helping others, resisting injustice, these are the bricks that build us back from the fall. In today's world of mental health struggles, identity crises, and spiritual emptiness, these verses speak directly to the heart. They acknowledge human fragility, but shine a light forward. Your dignity is not destroyed. It's buried, perhaps, but not gone. You are not broken beyond repair. You are capable of rising. And the Qur'an promises, if you seek the truth and live righteously, your reward will never be cut off. That reward isn't limited to paradise alone. It begins here. Peace, purpose, and the quiet joy of knowing you're on the right path. The final verses of Surah At-Tin now ask a powerful rhetorical question. So what yet causes you to deny the recompense? This question isn't just addressed to those who reject faith, it speaks to every human heart that forgets accountability. When we lose sight of our higher nature, when we live disconnected from conscience, we often dismiss the idea that we will ever stand to answer for our choices. But the Qur'an awakens that awareness again. What is it that blinds us to our end? To the reality that life is not meaningless? In a world full of distractions, where screens, status, and noise pull us away from reflection, this verse is a mirror. It asks us, do you really think your actions carry no weight? That injustice will go unnoticed? That kindness will go unrewarded? The surah closes with a final declaration, a reassurance wrapped in certainty. Is not Allah the most just of judges? It's not a threat, it's comfort. For those who feel unseen in their goodness, this is hope. For those who've been wronged, this is justice. And for those who seek purpose, this is alignment. God's justice is not like human justice. It is complete, compassionate, and delayed for wisdom, not absence. He sees the hidden tears, the silent patience, the late-night prayers. And in a world where unfairness often prevails, the Quran promises nothing is lost. So this chapter began with our honored creation, moved through our fall and redemption, and now ends with divine justice. It's a full circle, a blueprint of the human experience, from dignity to failure to growth to meaning. Let this message settle in your heart. You were created with honor. You may fall, but you're never beyond rising. Your life has purpose, and your Creator is just. After reminding us of the divine justice, is not Allah the most just of judges? We are called to reflect deeply and personally. This is not a distant theological concept. This is about you and your story. If you've ever been wronged, overlooked, betrayed, or burdened with trials you didn't understand, this verse whispers to your soul, Allah sees, He knows, and He is the fairest judge. The Quran does not romanticize suffering, but it gives meaning to it. It doesn't say the world will always be fair, but it assures us that Allah's justice will be. And not a single deed, sigh, or tear will go unnoticed. This is the dignity that cannot be taken away by cruelty, poverty, oppression, or even our own mistakes. It's a dignity grounded in who created us, not what we've achieved. Now imagine revisiting the beginning of this surah with new eyes. The fig and olive, the mountain, the sacred city, each stands as a witness to this truth, that the journey of humanity is sacred. That revelation has always called us back to our nobility. We fall, we rise, and with faith in righteous action, we are not only restored, we are elevated. Surah At-Tin is short, but it holds a universe of meaning. It tells you that you matter, that your story with all its light and shadow is known by the one who shaped you, and that you were never meant to remain in the dust. You were made to walk upright in dignity, with a heart that seeks what is higher. Let this message live in your heart. You were made in the best form. You may fall, but through belief and action, you rise. And in the end, the one who judges you does so with perfect knowledge, mercy, and justice. As we close this reflection on Surah At-Tin, remember, the journey of dignity is ongoing. It is not a destination reached once and for all, but a path walked daily with intention and hope. No matter how many times you fall, you are invited to rise again. Because the Creator who fashioned you in the best form never abandons His creation. Your worth is not measured by the mistakes you've made, nor by the opinions of others. It is measured by the divine spark within you, the sacred trust placed in your hands. In moments of despair when the world seems harsh and unjust, hold fast to this truth. Allah's justice is perfect and His mercy infinite. The one who judges you is also the one who knows your struggles intimately. There is no pain too small, no tear unnoticed, no effort wasted. So rise with courage. Let faith guide your actions. Be the living proof that human dignity is not a myth, but a reality carved by belief in righteous deeds. Surah At-Tin calls you to remember your origin and your destiny, to walk upright with a heart open to goodness, mercy, and justice. In that walking, you fulfill your highest purpose, to be a reflection of divine dignity in this world. May this truth stay with you, inspire you, and give you strength for every step of your journey ahead.